countdown.
Hey, Bill, you gotta stop drinking.
No, these are good pours.
These are good pours.
Good pours.
Bill, you can work for me.
Top down, on look back right there.
Great. I forgot I was in here one time back when you was a restaurant. Matter of fact, it might have been a mirror. It had somebody practicing their pour count.
Yeah, we don't play that shit.
It was like
That's your money, bro.
It was like a girl. And,
Tiff probably
it wasn't packed.
pour tested Tati probably like in the last 2 months.
Oh, make sure the
That
rhythm.
ass. Yeah.
Cheers, you and everything.
Make sure the rhythm was there.
Yeah. Cheers, Don. First of many. Cheers.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Cheers, brother.
First of many. How's my hair look, gentlemen?
I'm right behind you.
I might cut this shit off, man. Real rap.
Oh man,
I'm not gonna
been a long time.
I like it though. It's very unassuming. Like people just, I look homeless.
Now you had anyway.
My little brother wanted dreads.
I didn't want them. It just happened. It's just life, man.
How does the hat fit though? It's a snapback?
Snapback.
And you don't have it all the way out?
What you mean? Oh, yeah.
It's a snapback, so you can loosen it up.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I could
No,
make
it
it.
ain't even loose.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I like how it is.
You like it sitting on top, pause.
There we go. Oh, hey.
I like it sitting on top.
Pause.
Wow. You know what's crazy? This wildest thing on a golf course the other day. And
Golf
we
is
can
a-
get started.
golf
Golf
is
is a
a
wild game, right?
Wild game.
So
Because you could say the gayest thing and you mean something so pure, like just something so wholesome.
I probably shouldn't even say this, but I think it'd be funny. And I'm about the content. And I'm secure at myself. So anyway, me and the gentleman had the same putt, probably about 25 feet away. We over there in Delaware, me, Mark, and I'm getting hustled by these African guys. He putts. I see exactly what happens with his golf ball.
It's called the line.
Saw his line. Thank you, sir.
There you go.
I followed behind him and made the same mistake. And he says, "Didn't you see what I just did?" And I said, "I did, but I couldn't." I said something like, "But I couldn't feel it." Like, because it was like, I saw what you did, but the feel is different. You know what I mean? The stroke and the even describing it is wild. But for me, just to be like, "Yeah, I see what you did, but I couldn't feel what you did." That's what I said. I couldn't.
And somebody not paying attention would have heard that and been like, what the?
Across another hole. Like, what the fuck are y'all
What are they talking about?
Mark damn near fell out, but then the African guy is like, "What's so funny?" He's thinking we're laughing at him, and I didn't.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know him, and I didn't have the patience to explain myself to him.
Backstory, Mark Champ. That's what we're talking about. He said, them African boys ran you for your money out there.
Listen,
That's just his words, though.
Shout out to Mark Champ.
they did.
Great
they
guy.
did. They did. He hustled me. But again, I'm willing to pay for entertainment. That's what I look
Oh,
like.
so y'all were gambling.
We were gambling per hole, money per hole.
We've advanced our golf game to the gambling while we're playing.
Right. So I had a bet with Mark, betting again a couple $1 per hole. Some Africans I've never seen before. He says, "You want to bet?" I'm like, "Cool, why not?" Because again, to me, it's entertainment. 9 times out of 10, when I show up to play golf, I'm gonna be the worst golfer, and I'm okay with that.
So let me ask, wait, how are you the worst golfer, but you practice the most?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's a crazy game.
Yeah.
You literally, I wonder what you do.
Well, at this point, I'm a full-time golfer.
Yeah, because you don't. Your job to me doesn't. It comes second. Hopefully, this doesn't get you fired. Your job.
That's kind of why we stopped doing this initially.
Edit that out. Sorry, but real rap. Like I watch your Instagram throughout the day of my day, and I'm like, I have done something wrong in life that I cannot just step away from doing anything and go, even just hit the ball for a little bit. I could call Bill, and Bill will have a full conversation. What you doing? What you up to, dog? And I'm like, Greggs, are you on the course? Yeah. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
And then you come back.
Phone down on the tee box.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, just call. It's like when you like. It's almost like calling y'all is like when you call people at the gym. I hate talking to people at the gym. Like
No,
I
that's
don't
real.
want to hear you breathing and thrusting in my ear at the gym.
That's like
The short
oh,
answer.
my goodness.
That sounds crazy. The short answer is: have you ever seen somebody on drugs? Right. Somebody on drugs. Their job becomes secondary.
After I was like,
Well, okay.
I've seen several people on drugs.
So the short answer, the question for me is, compared to somebody on drugs, right, where my job becomes secondary or thirdary, my children, they fall down the pecking order just a little. Sorry, Kennedy, I was an hour late picking her up from school yesterday.
Because of the course.
Had to squeeze in 18.
But she knew,
I was. Oh, she knew.
She knew.
She knew.
But it was awesome the other day. You had her on the course with you. That was real.
Never
cool.
again.
That was actually hilarious.
She's not
Like,
invited back.
that was hilarious. Like, kudos to that, because I was like,
was
when my daughter gets, or one of my daughters get old enough,
One of them.
one of them.
Outside of the Winston, everything I do in my life, I'm gonna include my children.
That's pretty. I seen him at the game.
I'm gonna pass it on.
See him at the
Yeah,
game.
everything I do
Yeah,
with my
that's
children
what's
because I actually like my children. I enjoy my children.
No.
Everybody can't say the same.
Yeah.
pretty
Some
dope.
people try and get away from them.
No, for sure. And out of all my children, even though Kennedy's a girl, she's the most like me, personality and everything. So I enjoy her. So what are we doing? We rolling?
There we go. I like that.
Yeah,
That was
that was great.
That was a great intro.
Rolling?
Yeah, we rolling. We rolling.
Live. We
Still-
back.
I still don't know what you do for a living, but
Yeah,
I
hopefully
do, but
we could touch on it.
Yeah,
we could touch
yeah.
on it.
You should.
Listen, yeah. At this point, coming back, we started this thing in 2015, right? It's now 2018, and if I'm not mistaken,
It's 2018 now.
I'm sorry, it's now 2024.
Yeah, there we go.
And if I'm not mistaken, it might have been around March, April when this thing was first born.
I think so.
2016, I want to say 2016.
I think so.
kudos to you guys and welcome back. But the thing I have is the biggest question I have:
Right.
why was I not on the goddamn show?
Nah, I
Yo,
don't want
I
to hear
was
that.
never
'Cause
invited.
We tried.
We had Kenny. We had shout out to Kenny.
I'm not Kenny.
We had Herb. Like we had. Wasn't Kevin on here? I don't think Kevin McGuire.
Kev was
on
on
here.
McGuire?
I don't know. I don't know. I might be speaking. But we had a lot of people on. We tried. You just didn't link up. Didn't have match up. I don't think you wanted to be on it. honestly.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
This was the height, and we can get into what you do and who you are and how you became
Nah.
what you became and where we're sitting and all that good stuff. But you were on fire back then. You might not have had time for us, honestly.
No, I would probably say for me, I probably shied heavily away from it. This is a tall order right here to get me to do this because Bill knows very well that I try to stay behind the scenes more so than in front of the camera and all this.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Bill for making this happen. So
No, that's real. That's real.
shout out to Bill. So
I mean, I can't be in video production and we go away for 5 years and don't kick up the production value a little bit. That would look bad on me.
So jumping into that, Bill, what have you been doing for the last 5 years? Let the people know what you're doing, where you've been.
Time.
This some time, bro. I've been down. Been down. Nah, last 5 years, last time we were doing a podcast, we really stopped because I was trying to make a transition career-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to leave my full-time job, which was working at Comcast. Wasn't really happy there, so transitioning out, but keeping the talents I went to school for. And so I started my own video production company. Because, and I believe I touched on this on the podcast back in the day, but Ryan, I used to work out of his office. So, he's one of the people that actually made me want to enter in entrepreneurship because working out of his office, he would hear me griping and shit about Comcast. And he was like, why don't you just quit? His exact words, why don't you just quit?
Easy enough.
So, eventually I did. Actually, I made the decision to quit Art Basel. When we went down to Art Basel for Phil's show, shout out to Philip Mims. He was also a guest on the show. And
I do want to say our alumni is crazy though.
it's wild. Our alumni, our class,
We might need to review everybody.
We'll get into that. We'll get into
stellar
that.
guy, stellar class, stellar draft class. They'll state that 09, 2010 is just wild, that little gap. But yeah, started a video production company, started intaking clients, working with nonprofits, and that's kind of where I've been, really, just head down working for the last couple of years.
Let me take it back a little bit. When did you, since now you're heavily in production, you own your own company, when did you first realize this is what you wanted to do?
Video production,
Video
or start
production,
my own company?
Video production.
Video production, I never really came up with that. This is what I really want to do because when I went to school, it was for broadcast journalism.
Mm-hmm.
So going for broadcast journalism, I kind of wanted to be on air, on-air talent. So I wanted to be the reporter that you saw. I used to want to be a weatherman when I was in high school. So
Pointing at the
stuff.
pointing at the screen.
Yeah, crosswinds today.
Yeah. The barometer was my favorite thing when I was young. I didn't know what the hell it meant, but
I didn't know.
yeah, when
But
I acted
Hurricane
as
Schwartz,
a yeah,
you knew who Hurricane Schwartz
was.
was. So that's who John Belaris. You knew who
Blair's,
John.
yeah.
Shout out to John.
We
Belaris.
might have to have him on here.
I got
He's
some stories about John Belaris.
The whole city has stories about John Belaris. But so I wanted to be on TV in front of the camera. Eventually, I realized, shout out to Marshall Harris, a lot of talks through him that the people on the camera don't really make the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I as I was in the media field, the sports field, this is 2018, you said, is when we stopped here? 2016, 15, whenever it was, I just wasn't liking the way TV production was going. A lot of layoffs were happening. Unfortunately, they weren't laying me off. I was trying to get fired at the time, but I was not getting laid off.
Why were they keeping you? Just because you were really good at your job? You were
Army
always
knife,
on
I could do
time?
everything. I could do everything. So like they could let go of people, and
Did you hold the boom mic?
I never held the boom mic. I never held.
I used to torture Bill when he first started his company. All I wanted to do was hold the fucking boom mic. I didn't know. I didn't know. Or no, I wanted to be
You wanted to be a key grip.
a key grip. That was my title.
What? He
Bill-
saw key grip in the credits, and he was like, "Let me be key grip." He would always, even when we shooting for with Phil,
Key grip, like what the fuck?
it's like a gaffer. Like we worry about lights. It's in the lighting department. The gear. They set up this. They set up. If you would see.
You have lofty goals, my friend.
Yeah, man. Hey,
I didn't know what it was. It sounded cool.
Want to be in the credits?
he wanted to be in the credits. He
I
wanted to
get
be
it.
part of the thing.
No, I get it.
But it's funny because like finding out where you want to be. I used to be. People looked at me and see that like working for Comcast was great. Like you must meet all the athletes and everything, which was like cool. It was one time in the locker room. I saw Joel, and like we used to move around the city with Joel. So like I saw him, I dapped him up, and then I saw Ben dapped him up, and everybody was like, the reporters looking at me like, "Yo, how do you know? Like, how do you know these guys?" I was like, man, some of my friends own businesses. They patron. That's like, you know what I mean. But I wasn't trying to, like make it known that I worked in media. A lot of people didn't know I worked in media. But yeah, got tired of it, started a production company, and I was just, like I said, I was using the talents that I built up over production. I did internships at NBC, MTV, where I learned how to set up sets and all that stuff. I wanted to take those talents and utilize them myself and actually get paid the just wage, because when you're in TV, you're making money for other people, you're creating content for other people. So really going on your own, you're able to figure out clients that you want, target clients you want, and that money go to you, opposed to you putting in hours for a large company and then cutting you a check of whatever it is. And yeah, so that's kind of what made me transition out, and here I am right now.
The name of the company?
IV Creative Concepts.
Like it.
4. I'm William Griggs the 4th, so I wanted to do 4 creative concepts. IV. It's kind of where it's at right now.
Next 5 years, where are we taking the company?
The next 5 years, a great question. I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, man.
You just rattling them off.
boys
Damn,
are stuffing
I
right
feel
now.
like this is crazy.
I don't get to talk often. normally I'm the creepy dude in the corner. So yeah, go ahead.
Janitor.
Right.
Janitor
that's
with
what
the
he
mic.
said. Yeah, janitor that got great questions. Next 4 years, definitely intaking more clients, getting a little bit more original productions. So when I say original, that's more things that you might see on streaming services. Yeah, and just increasing the clients that we have under the company and continue to make dope stuff, adjusting to everything, the landscape of the business, but just be here. I mean, it's hard enough to be a business owner and have a successful business, that. So yeah, just be alive and functioning is really, maintaining, but at the same time growing.
Got it. And a wish list. Anybody you could work with in the industry, who would it be?
Ooh, shit. I mean, who not? Spike,
Just one.
Tarantino?
Just one. You get one. You get to pick one person.
One person to work with.
You and Dom. Shout out to Dom, by the way.
Dom on the sound.
out to
That's
Dom.
why we sound so clear.
Shit is crispy.
But yeah,
Dom
if you got,
Zap.
if you got to work with, you got the opportunity to work with one person, producer, actor, actress,
Sheesh.
writer, one person.
This is a tough question. I ain't
No,
gonna
it's
lie.
not. You know you
Looks
got
like
to.
a Drake guy.
Yeah.
A Drake guy. I work with Drake.
You would work with Drake, I think.
I would, but that's not my number one person.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't think that was my number
He
one
might be
person.
number one.
Drake.
I wasn't even trying to be funny. I'm just thinking like.
Well, I mean,
somebody
what's your thinking behind that? Why would you want to work with Drake?
he might be the number one actor in the world, at least in our genre, from our perspective, and just all the different connects that takes you to. It's like you work with
Like
him.
what you- yeah,
you'd
right.
have access to damn near everything around the world.
What Cole call it? The Drake effect?
The Drake, I mean, that's a real thing.
real
I
thing.
get you.
I mean, you can sell anything to anybody if you work with Drake.
Right.
So again, not even trying to be funny,
That's a good point.
but that's kind of how I would look at it. Like, well,
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good point.
it's like a one-man band cover everything.
I don't.
Swiss Army knife.
It's Swiss
Yeah.
Army knife. Yeah. You make a video with Drake, you're kind of out of here. So I don't know, Ryan. I honestly don't know if I can answer that question. I'm the type of person that answers stuff in series. So like, if you say who do you want to work with, I'm gonna give you 5 people. So
Give me 3.
I can work.
Well, you got 2 because Drake's one. So go ahead.
So Drake's one.
2 left.
We'll put him on there. I would say Spike, because I feel like I could learn from him on set. just a lot of different aspects. And he's worked in original productions, and he's also did commercials. Like he's done a lot of things. A lot of people don't like him, like his bluntness and everything, but whatever. And to be honest, not work with, but I want to interview Barack Obama. I just want to talk to him. Like, I miss him talking. I miss seeing him. Like, I just want to, like, just kind of how we sitting right here. I just want to talk to Barry
with him.
and just be like, yo, man, what do you think? Like, that's what it is. I would want to talk to Barry.
I would wonder what the cocktail y'all would drink if y'all sat and had a conversation.
Tequila. If he better be drinking tequila, and if he ain't, he got to.
And you know my boy gonna light a cig up.
Oh, Newport. Menthol, all the way.
We gonna keep it G
All the
with
way.
it, too.
Might even do the dap when they get the cigarette out the pack. The soft pack. He ain't got the box. He don't have
He gonna have that
Barry
thing-
don't have the box. He don't have the box.
He gonna have that thing laying off his lip like a mechanic.
He got the soft pack where you dab it and pop up. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So Barry, Drake, and Spike, I think, is up there. But I mean, who not? I would love to work with Mike. You know who I would really want to shoot a commercial for? Schoolboy Q and a golf brand.
That's a good one.
I would love to do that. Yeah, I mean,
we're not far off.
Spike
I mean,
Lee, Jones.
I just got to see you guys in a Rock Nation Plains.
Oh, shout
That's
out.
kind of cool.
Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Mark Champ for producing that. I think that's his first production credit.
I'm not gonna.
That was the other thing I wanted to produce.
I got some cool friends, man.
That's why you got the hat on. You don't see that?
I got some cool friends.
Listen, I was a proud friend when I saw that.
Yeah.
I've seen the engagement. Planes, I've seen the engagement.
So my thing with that is, you post the video, and everybody sees us playing golf, and they see us wearing the planes or anything like that. But I was proud that I knew the guys that actually made it, because that's where the power is.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because again, we can play golf all the time. I can record us playing golf, but to be able to do that type of production for a company like Planes, you feel me? A lot of people don't know. Like, they think we just play golf, but they don't know you were actually shooting it, edited it, you ran it through your company.
Right.
We gave out credits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that was the cool part. But again, on the outside looking in, you see us playing golf, you see us wearing the polos, you see us with the hats.
And let's keep it G, like, and that's another thing from the game too. Like, people see that and they'll be like, "Wow, that's dope." Like, how many people have hit you up just to see that you associated with the Plains brand and you collaborated with it? But in truth, we did that out of, and I think I can say this in transparency. We did that as a look. Like, Mark came to us because we were his golf friends. His friend works for Plains, Jay, and he wanted to. They wanted to release some polos and hats. And they were trying to figure out, like, how can they coincide that with golf, because that's what people wear on the golf course. How can we relate our brand to the golf course? So he hit up Mark because he knew he played golf. Mark came to us because we're his guys that play golf. And, like, we were just able to have an honest conversation on how we should shoot it. Shout out to Kevin Spence, who also shot. Yeah, Church. Shout out to Church, who also shot it. And, like, have an honest conversation so it wasn't so corny. People trying to get into golf and they're like riding on golf courts and standing on them. Like, that's not what really golf is. We just were like wanted to get the competitiveness in what we do, because that's why we play it. We wanted to capture that, so we just did it so we could potentially get a look and work with Plains in the future. So hopefully that's what goes into it. But people see stuff and they're like, "Damn, they doing." It's like, listen, that was.
And that was 4 hours, so you ought to cut that joint down in like 50 seconds. It's crazy.
And I will say this, going back to what you had mentioned, that how it really meant something to you. You're actually not lying, because when I called you, you actually said to me, you were like, "Yo, it was dope because it was actually me and my friends that did it." And I was like, "Oh,
man,
No, and that's
like,
real.
I ain't even know.
no, but nah, that's how I know it was real when you just said that. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, because again, we play golf at a time, on camera, off camera, whatever.
yours is mostly on camera during the day, because
Clearly.
I'm going to show y'all my life is better than y'all. So, yeah, y'all going to see me, and I'm going to timestamp it at 10:18, so y'all can see me in the golf cart.
What time it is?
that is.
That's literally the point of me shooting how I shoot, on Instagram. But anyway, like I was saying, again, because golf is golf, but you showing that you can make that type of product for Plains, the door, I mean, it's unlimited.
Yeah,
Never know.
sure.
Never
So to
know.
me-
Shout out.
to
They've
me,
gotten a lot of engagement from that. A lot of
From
people.
what I understand, without getting specifically with the numbers, it's like we might have doubled what they expected the engagement to do on that particular post. And to me, the credit goes to the production. Right? They could have had anybody out there. They could have paid actors, but again, the quality of the production and the product and everything kudos to you guys.
So my thought process is our next episode, we will probably be all fitted out with planes things.
I mean,
You too, Dom.
you know
what I'm saying?
we
Because
we need some planes gear.
we need some planes gear.
I mean, I got to call up Mark. I know he was up there in New York the other day. Nice little photo shoot.
I think it's a thing. I think it's a thing. All right, well, switching gears, Mr. Tremaine Johnson,
Tremaine
man of
Johnson.
man, the Renaissance man. It's funny because when I first met Tremaine, used to come in recess, and I never knew who he was. You have two friends that one
know,
right here,
yeah, one
and
Tremaine.
another one.
Yeah. It's
And
probably Clay.
It's Clay, 100%
Yeah, it's
Clay.
Clay. Shout out Clay.
He's always like, yo, they were at recess. And I'm like, who are they? And now that I know Tremaine so well, now I remember Tremaine would come down them steps by himself.
Shout out Recess. Woo.
Kind of like how he comes into Winston by himself. And then Tremaine would just make friends.
That's what life's about, man.
He is literally the Dos Equis man 2024.
He's a man of the people.
A man of the people.
Man of the people.
And it's funny you say that because again, I'm always shouting at my friends, right? People always see me doing things and they're like, "How you do this? How you do that?" A lot of rookie mistake. Come on, man. It's been years, people.
Come on, man.
Excuse them. I'm sure she don't know I'm sorry, he or she don't know
That's
you're
brother
doing a
Mims.
podcast.
That's Philip Mims.
Oh, okay. I bet you he don't know.
He don't know.
But anyway, like I was saying, a lot of the stuff I do is related to my friends, right? So I feel like my friends will be cooler than who I might really be. But taking it back to what you're saying, it's really all networking, right? Meeting people. I know Bill. Bill get me into the recess, and I can't wait to talk to you about recess and really what it really was,
I was the plug,
to the city and the community.
I was the
right?
plug. I was the recess plug.
But again, and I want people to take notes. I don't want to have to keep calling Bill every time I want to get in the recess. So if Bill gets
it
me
right.
in
He
a
did it
few
right.
times, I'm gonna start creating my own relationships.
Nightlife etiquette. Can I just pause right here because this was a big thing for me back in the day. I came to recess because I had the relationship with you, right? Now my friends would want to come, and you took advantage of that because you would meet the people that you needed to meet just so you could have a simple entry into the place and not have a problem. If this is the same situation with someone that is listening, and you have a friend that can get you in there, do a favor to that friend and just ingratiate yourself with the people. Tip the bartenders. Shake hands with the security staff. So much pressure is not on that friend when you show up and he got to get 6-7 people in there.
So look, I'm gonna take it a step further. This is not even a nightlife thing. This is a life thing.
It's a life thing.
You feel me? I don't care where you are. It could be the club. Shit, it could be the car wash. You feel me?
Preach.
If somebody helps you out or gets you in the door, it can be in your career. Now that they got you in, it's your job to
Amen.
to go from there.
Go from there.
To go
Yeah.
and that's how you and I became cool. You
Absolutely.
feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
He got me in the recess, and again, you didn't know who I was. I knew who you were. But again,
I always knew there was two friends. Maino,
shout out to my man Clay.
Maino and Clay.
Now listen,
Couldn't tell you who they were.
another
For the first 8 years I've known Bill.
another key thing is this though. This is a big one. You got me in. I ain't going there and start fucking shit up.
And that's act like you've been here.
You didn't know who I
that is
was.
very true.
You didn't know who I was, and I didn't. I'm working on myself. People watch my language. I didn't mess up the connect. I didn't go in there and embarrass my man. You feel me? So again, take that outside of nightlife. Apply that to your life. You feel me? But anyway, yeah, good times. Not pretty sure how we got off on that tangent.
No. Just trying to understand what you've been doing since you guys kind of closed out the podcast on a hiatus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I just been chilling, man. I really been chilling and living life.
Are you employed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
So I mean, I think one thing about the podcast is again we started off in 2016. We probably slowed down around 2018, 2019. We did a few.
Right.
We picked up a little bit during the pandemic, popped in, talked to y'all, you know, a little bit. But for the most part, I've been living. You feel me? But again, when it comes to my main thing in life is networking and meeting people, the same thing you spoke on. One of my good friends, Brandon Hill, got me into sales. So we were doing the original podcast. I was working at WB Mason.
Yep.
B2B sales.
Pause right there. The one funny thing is when he calls, it still says
pops up.
Tremaine WB Mason. I ain't been working for WB Mason, and Lord knows how. I'm not changing it. I don't really care.
Listen,
I'm not
it's
changing
all, people still call me looking for paper. But so yeah, working at WB Mason, that's kind of what I was doing in sales. When the height of the podcast. Since then, transitioned into tech sales. But the reason I bring Brandon Hill up and connected with the network situation is I wasn't in sales. Well, at least not on paper with W-2s. You feel me? But again, always talking about networking and how you advance your career. One of my homies who was working at the company brought me in, got me on the sales side, and it really changed my life. I mean, any way you look at it, through the pandemic, transitioning into tech sales, where I currently am, and I just been living. Another thing before we put a cap on this and get to you is when you got good friends, you're hanging with the right people. A lot of things have changed in my life, but don't really look like it because I was already in places I had no business being. Right. Already had the relationships with people I had no business knowing. Right. Because I was already in the rooms, even before maybe money got me in there, right. Or maybe I was doing things that without the money, you feel me? I was doing it because of the relationships. Right. You feel me? So y'all see me doing the same thing now, where hell, my salary might be 6 times what it was back then. But again, if you got the correct relationships, if you got the right network, you're always gonna look good. You're always gonna be around the right people in the right rooms.
Amen to that. Amen.
I had to go to this charity event, or it was a charity event at the Sixers game, right? I was late. Of course I was late.
Oh yeah.
I was late, and I had told my wife when I was going, I didn't feel like going, right? I got this thing about putting the blazer on. It's not really my thing, so I didn't know that when you get to the stadium at a certain time, your ticket don't work, right?
Right. Yeah, you gotta go to the box office.
You gotta go to box. I wouldn't. It was raining. I wasn't doing all that. So I get to the stadium, and I'm like, "Oops, I'm late. I ain't going to this charity event."
He pulled up third quarter.
I might have did it on purpose, and I hope the person that remembers the situation doesn't call me out on it. And I'm sitting in the car, and I'm like, damn, I really got to go in. And I call my wife, and she's like, yo, you got to go in. I'm like, who can get me into the stadium? Tremaine. It wasn't even like, who can get Tremaine?
Hey, listen.
Literally, hold on. I literally shot a text. Yo, where you at? Sixers game. I need a favor. Yo, come to the door. Wave at the dude with the one eye. Da-da-da-da-da. All right. You sure this? Yo, just come on. Now. Trucking through the rain. I'm like, this boy don't get me in this fucking stadium. We're going to have a problem.
Right.
I get to the stadium. Tremaine is chopping it up with the guy. He goes, right there. I was like, and the dude looked at me like, come on.
Right.
I was
like, that's real. Relationships, man.
In my mind, I was like, what does he do?
Yeah.
This man is special.
Talk.
Tremaine is special, man.
You got to talk to him. Talk to the people. Talk to the people. You can get wherever you want.
Listen, you do what you do and you do it well.
Hey, man.
I always wanted to be like the plug, but my guy, you're the plug. Kudos to you because you get yourself into great situations.
No, that's real.
And when you travel, it's kind of cool to see because I'm like, where's he gonna go next? You know what I mean? Next thing I know, he's in this party, he's in that party. I'm texting him like, I don't know. I just talked to somebody, and he makes it sound so like effortlessly. Like, I just talked to somebody.
He's a man in the city,
He's
man.
A man of many cities, man. I've seen him do it in
Best work might have been Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Super Bowl. That was amazing work.
Out there in Arizona, man.
Amazing.
I thought you lived there, like, after a while.
Oh, because I didn't leave.
You didn't leave?
Once it was no parade to come back to.
But how'd that happen? Like, because like people go out to the Super Bowl and like it's a lot in the air for people that don't know.
Bro.
You go out to the Super Bowl, it's parties.
It's not easy.
Like, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
A lot of these events, and y'all just popped up in the Fanatics and all that.
Yeah.
And you was in the Rich Paul joint, wasn't you?
Yeah.
It's hard tickets to get.
But nah,
there ain't even tickets.
We ain't need no ticket. Shit, got to the door. That's a Rich. I knew we at least looked familiar. Again, cross paths plenty times at the Sixers games.
Right.
And shout out to my man Top. Top was with me, and me and Top on the same wave. Met Top at Del State. He's another salesman, in a different field. But again, we've crossed paths with Rich a few times at the Sixer games, whether it be behind the scenes in the locker room, family room, the little lounge area. Always shook his hand, spoke. So again, even if you're not getting 60 seconds, 2 minutes with people, shake their hand, say hello. Again, you see him enough times, you look familiar. So Top has done the same thing in LA. So we get to the party. And Top has his number. So Top said, you can go get him or I can call him. Which one you want to do?
Ooh, that's a power move right there.
But listen,
somebody gonna let you walk.
Because then it's that, like, I'm not trying to get yelled at for not letting you in.
Facts.
But I'm gonna tell you what she did. She said, I'm gonna go get him.
Ooh.
Another power move.
She walked in.
She was chest.
Listen, end of the day, and it's another life lesson. What are they gonna do? Say no? We're not about to get arrested. The most they can say is no.
Right.
So we stood there. She came back not even 30 seconds, and she said, y'all good. Now, the kicker, as soon as we walked in, he was right there. Shook his hand again, said what's up. He said, man, listen, anything I want to do, everything is on the house. Have a good time.
So she actually did go get him then?
Yeah, she went to go talk to him. I don't know what she said. She probably just went in and said, hey, they said they don't need to call you. Whatever she said.
Right.
Either way, you got to walk past this man when you go in there.
And he would have been like, yo, I don't know them roll. Yeah, because
exactly.
he could have.
Exactly.
I mean, I've been that guy before where you could easily get played and be like, yo, they got to roll.
I just seen LeBron telling a story about at his wedding, I think somebody was in there who didn't belong or whatever, and they got him out of there. But yeah, again, We got in. We had to stand on what we said. But again, looking familiar, we got it there. And this was it was either the Friday or Saturday. It might have been a Saturday before the Super Bowl. Got a chance to meet Jalen Hurts. Got a chance to meet Devontae Smith. A couple of the not Rock Nation. What do they call it? Clutch athletes. And just chill, talk, network. Just doing what we do. Just
It's funny.
Just
Just
having a good time.
kind of ending or just speaking on that is like I talk to a lot of in my field. I talk to a lot of like the new up and coming promoters, and I translate that to is circulating the $20 bill, right? Like it boggles my mind that some of the top promoters can't walk into a lot of bars and restaurants in Philadelphia and get a free drink. Right. And I say that because it's like if you throw in these hot events, these bartenders are basically your spokesperson, your hype people behind you, right? Like one of the things when I was much younger and running around Philadelphia, we was out all the time. You know what I mean? And even before I used to hang out with Bill, I would go out on a Tuesday, go across to like Fairmount and be in Urban Saloon, and in there on a Tuesday night. Shout out to Kelly Bean who tells too many stories about how I used to be in there. And we would go in there and you circulate the $20 bill is you get that first or second drink, they comp it to you, you throw that 20 down. Now you might not have it, but it's going to come back to you because they're 100%. Coming back to the bar that you work at or the club, and it's like you touching on that from a perspective that you go and you meet people, you shake hands. Like the art of that has died so much because everyone thinks that either they could do what we're doing now, which is a podcast or be on TV, or they could make a quick reel, or I got 50,000 followers on TikTok and I'm cool. And it's like, yeah, but I bet you $1 I can get into something faster than you. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're working with the brand or something like that. And it boggles my mind that, the art of just meeting people has gone away. And I love that you actually touch on that because a lot of people just don't do that. Like, just shake hands, look somebody in the eye, say hello.
Again, I know the best thing about me is it's authentic. When I say hello, right?
You're best friends with everybody.
Right. If I'm in a Sixer game and I know I'm getting hella free food and I walk past the same usher, you want some water? Bro, I know you stand there for 6 hours.
I've seen it.
That's without
I've seen it.
That's without even thinking what I'm gonna get in return. You feel me?
A couple months ago, we sitting in good seats. I'm there with a buddy of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Jermaine walks by with his daughter. The usher looks at him and goes, I got 2 here. I'm like, he ain't got no tickets. He ain't got no tickets. I'm like, nah. He's like, how you get down here? I was, Jermaine, he's Dos Equis 2024. Trust me. I was like, he might he might be the half-court shot person with his daughter. Just you gotta watch. You gotta watch.
It's the love, man. That's the love. Man, listen, you show love, you get love. Yeah. That's 100%. And that's really what it comes down to. Because again, I'm not doing it for exchange or anything. But I do like what you say about the $20 bill because you're going to get it back.
You're going to get it back. And you might get it back. As a promoter, you're going to get it back more because that bartender is sitting there telling, that person that's in Philadelphia for the weekend or a group of people, hey, where should we go? And I'm like, or the bartender's like, hey, go see Griggs. Griggs got this dope party at the Winston on Saturday nights. It's crazy, yada, yada, yada. Because Griggs goes in there on a Wednesday, takes care of Bob the bartender, and Bob's like, that's my man Griggs. And then when Bob comes to the party, Bill's like, sit at my table, drink all the liquor. Yeah. I appreciate you. I'll see you when I come there on Wednesday.
People be wondering like if they see me or something like that, they'll wonder like why I go to the bar and I get served fast. It's because most of the time especially with you and staff members that you've had a relationship with them for a long time. So some of the same people that worked in recess work in your future ventures or whatever. And even in your new ventures, they'll know me because I've done the same thing when I first came in there. So it's like when I see me, they think I work there. Like people used to think I worked in nightlife. It's just like, nah, I just, I showed people love at recess.
You know the Noto story, right?
As far as what?
With Bill, so with Noto, I was involved with Noto when it first opened. So we made these hats, right? Shout out to Zach Simon for his marketing capabilities.
Good marketing.
Genius.
Good marketing.
We made these hats, and it was just a Noto hat. We made like 5 of them, maybe like 6 of them, right? Starting management team, James the owner, and Bill. Somehow Bill,
y'all opening?
Somehow Bill got a Noto hat. I don't know because he was in office with us. That's what it was.
Yeah, I took that thing.
Gave Bill the hat, and his joint didn't even match everybody else. He actually had the best one. It was a prototype. So Bill would go harp and crown. Bill would walk in. They'd be like, "Oh my God, it's Bill from Noto." I'm like, "You don't even work there." Like, Bill would be like, "No, we opening soon. No, for real." They'd be like, "You want tequila? Sure. Yep. Let me get that." And that was when 1942 first started rolling. They'd be like, they look at Bill, slide him that 42. Bill would be like, "I got you." I'm like, he don't even work there.
It is what it is. But I don't work there, but I do.
Yeah, you do. Seriously, you're an associate.
I do. If you need something, I still can get you. But that was back then because you guys were working there. I haven't been to Noto in a while. Shout out to everybody over there. But yeah, that's what it is. And I kind of want to turn that back to you because we speak to Noto, Recess, all these opportunities. People might not know who you are. But you are a entrepreneur from the city of Ryan Dorsey. Damn, that's crazy. From the city of Philadelphia. And yeah, man, just touch on how you really started your business journey in Philadelphia and what made you get into this field of hospitality.
So it's interesting because like as a kid, my dad and my grandfather owned a bar, Jimmy Lee and Son, greatest bar ever, and like it's crazy because I love the smell of a bar, and I know that may sound terrible.
That sounds like an alcoholic, but
I'm not. But and it's funny because I always talk about how my dad used to every Saturday I would hang out, or Saturdays I would hang out with my dad.
Okay.
And it was our thing. We would go to barbershop. And you remember, black barbershops, you in there for like 3 or 4 hours. So that was the thing. My dad would get his haircut, I get my haircut.
Thanks.
We shoot down to South Street, we shoot down to South Philly. My dad's bar was at 22nd and Mifflin on the corner, and he would bring me in there. And my dad would step away sometimes. We'll leave that out. Why he would step away, but I would hang out, and him and my grandfather would be in the back office or whatever, and I just love the feel of it. I love the action. I love the people, and I was there a lot. Like I to this day, I distinctly remember what it looks like, and I might have been like 5 or 6 years old. There was an incident that I had seen some things that I probably shouldn't have seen. And then I had made mention of it when Mike Lauer from 60 Minutes mentioned some things that was going on in the country at that time, and my mom never let me back in the bar again. So
you gotta enlighten me. What was going on?
Man, that's
it was an interesting time in the city back then. It
was during the 80s,
Okay.
right? Cocaine era was something serious.
Gotcha. Okay, I see where we're going. All right.
And I walked into a room, some things that a 5-year-old shouldn't see.
Gotcha.
I happened to see it, and then 60 Minutes was on TV, and we sat down as a family, and I pointed out some things on 60 Minutes that I saw at the bar.
Gotcha. Okay.
And my mom made the executive decision that he doesn't need to be in the bar anymore. So that was the last time I got to see Jimmy Lee and Son's bar.
Gotcha.
After that, I saw it from the outside in. I didn't go inside. I honestly did not go back in the bar. If I came down to South Philly, I went to my grandfather's house down the street. And that was it. But I was always, excited about the bar. Went away to college in North Carolina. I actually went to school for finance. And
Where'd you go?
I went to Johnson C. Smith first.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, HBCU first.
CIAA. Yep.
Yep. HBCU first, and realized that my talents should be in a little bit of a bigger school because I like the party. Mm-hmm. Smith didn't have the party aspect because it wasn't education. Education was pretty good, but it was just more of like the fun aspect, right?
Right.
And then I transferred to UNC Charlotte where I had too much fun. Learned a little bit about the bar business there, and then shout out to my very good friend, partner, big bro, Mark Matera, who I was actually working in the car business, and I met Mark when I came home, and Mark put me in the car business. And one night, it was a Thursday night, he says, "Look, hey, my buddy owns a club on Delaware Ave called Babylon." And we're going back to when, this is before, what's that casino? I always call it
Sugar House, but it's something else now.
Rivers.
Rivers.
Yeah. It's where Rivers works. Everybody that doesn't know that there was nightclubs all along Delaware Ave.
Right. What was that?
Shout out to Chrome.
What was the other one?
Fiji, Chrome, Maui,
Egypt,
Chrome Beach.
Chrome
what
Beach.
was the Gotham City? Gotham City was on the
8th floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Lounge. Damn.
Bro, they used to
Party
shut
on down to the 8th Street
Sunday on Delaware Ave. They would shut the street down. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
But so I got a job, and my Mark was like, "Yo, they need a bar back," and I was like, "All right, what do I got to do?" He was like, "Just clean up shit and get some ice," and I was like, "All right, bet." I said, "Well, why do they need me?" He said, "They got, this is how long ago they had Nelly performing on a Thursday in Philly."
Oh shit! Hot, hurt.
I remember going in the back. I'm up there sweating my ass off, buckets of ice, carrying them out in the trash can, putting them on the dolly, and wheeling them out and shit. And then I look over and I see this dude with a Band-Aid on his face. And I was like, this job is the coolest fucking thing ever.
How old were you at this time?
I was 19.
Oh, yeah. I can see why that'd be
19 years
cool.
old. Yeah, it was cool.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. I was 20. I was 20 years old.
Gotcha.
And that was it, man. It was like, it just, I loved the action. And then, fast forward, I actually got in the car. Most people know I was in the car business. Mm-hmm. Mark also got me in the car business, fucked up my life with that.
Mark.
Did pretty well. I actually loved the car business. Worked for Acura, Volkswagen first, then BMW, did a little small stint at Mercedes, then back to BMW. And during that time, I bought my first bar really young at 25 in Old City. That's when Old City was rolling.
Popping.
It was like, that's all it was Old City.
Popping.
Me and my good homie, Damien from high school, we bought the bar together, Level 2 Lounge. And it's crazy because Active was our DJ.
Damn.
Wow.
Like he was our resident, DJ Active, who,
Shout out to Act.
who's like, he's
On
all
tour
over
with
all over
Janet
tour.
Jackson,
XL was one of our DJs. J Ski was one of our
JJ's.
literally like residents, but we used to do some wild shit then. We were always like ahead of the curve where Active would have a band member from Music Soul Child jump up on a bar playing the guitar while we were busy, during while we were, while he's DJing. We had drummer. I think Jersey was the drummer at the time. So all the stuff, it's kind of funny because like all the stuff you're seeing now, like shout out to Treyway and AMH, they do that on Monday nights.
Right.
We were doing it in
time.
this like hole in the wall bar that to me was everything, right? So after about a year, Damien and I decided to part ways, and a gentleman who taught me the next chapter, Cecil Gray, who took me under his wing, I call him Uncle Cecil, really taught me the nightlife business, like taught me everything. It was him and John Frankowski and Marv were the three guys that I say really taught me the business. Marv taught me how to handshake, meet people. Frankowski taught me the business aspect, and Cecil just taught me just how to be a good person, and just
That's real.
yeah. Uncle Cecil, he's a very wise guy. So I left the bar and then I went over to Z Bar.
Damn.
Went over to Z Bar and I was
Classic.
the
Shout out to
the
Z Bar.
doorman at Z Bar. Boy, when I tell you, that's when Philly was on fire. Like it was 2008.
That was a hard door. Now, I can say this: the door at Z Bar was a hard place to get into.
People hated me.
Z Bar right next to Delilah's, right off
Hate it.
Delaware Ave, and it's like it was a good place to be because at the time it had that it had a club feel, but you knew you were gonna like feel like you were in a Philly, almost like not a Philly elite, but just a good crowd in there. But the door was like New York, like
I
you
was
better come correct or you ain't getting in there.
If you thought Recess was hard, Z Bar was worse.
Yeah.
Because we knew we were the hottest shit in the city. Like you couldn't tell us anything, right? Like you would go in Z Bar and see the entire 2008 Phillies team sitting at, and then you got the Flyers on the other side. One of the funniest moments I'll never forget. I became friends with Jeff Carter and Mike Richards from the Flyers, while I also boys with Ryan Howard from the Phillies. They're all in the same building, and I'm talking to Carter, and I'm like, yeah, the Phillies are in there, blah blah blah. He's like, oh really? I go, you never met them, huh? Nah,
Ever.
It's like, you've never met any of the Phillies. He's like, nope.
That's wild.
Come on.
Right.
Introduce them. And I was like, this is crazy. But, I remember Pat Burrell was actually used
At the bat.
Pat the Bat used to stand on the tables like crazy. You would see.
Before the cell phones.
Right.
Do what you want.
Yeah,
That's a big key.
That's a key. It's
a big thing.
To anything, probably any story that I tell up to about 2017, 18, it's like the cell phones wasn't a thing. And, Z Bar was just, it was special, man. Like, we would be out there, holding up the line. It'd be nobody in there. It'd be 100 people in line. It'd be 205. We don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, we know you're going to pay to get in. We know you're going to wait. We let 5 girls in. And it's, literally 100 people in line. And it was super exclusive. I've turned away all kinds of celebrities. And not that I wanted to do it on purpose, but we just set the precedent that this is going to be the hottest thing in Philly. And, shout out to Jen Shammy. She trusted me to do that. And then after 6 months on the door, I became the GM.
Gotcha.
And I was the GM for about a year and a half. And an opportunity came up for Recess. And I smiled because TJ, who was my partner, he passed away. RIP to TJ. When he first told me, hey, you should take this deal, I thought he was crazy because I'm like, 1,800 square feet in a parking garage. Nah,
Damn, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. And he was like, you're looking at this the wrong way. You're coming from a 7,000 square foot club. Like, are you nuts? Like, if you can't do what you did here, you shouldn't even be in this business. And I was like, okay.
Valid point.
And he showed me some numbers of the rent. And I was like, okay, I'm a numbers guy. That just makes total sense. So we went ahead and did it. And I remember the first weekend, we had a 3-day party. Open bar every night, 2 hours. Open till 3:30. We crushed it. I mean, we crushed it. Like recess.
What year was this when you got
2009.
recess? 2009.
2009 recess.
Makes sense. We were fresh out of college.
So we were fresh out of
Makes sense.
Yeah,
We crushed it that first weekend. Came out hot. The next weekend, nobody walked in the door.
Damn.
The second weekend, nobody walked in the door, and I was like, I just made the biggest mistake of my life. Meanwhile, Z-Bar is off the chain. I think Denim was still.
Denim,
it was either Denim or Whisper. It might have been Denim at the time.
Probably been both.
I think Denim was on
Walnut
its way
Room,
down, and
all
Whisper
that.
was coming.
Whisper was coming up.
Whisper was about to happen, and I'm like, yo, what did I do? And it was a Thursday night. We had a pen party. UPenn. This is when UPenn was. Their Thursday night parties was like crazy. I'm talking bottle service flying. It looked like a Saturday night in normal recess. And it was a Thursday night party. We had UPenn, and they would come in hot from 11 to 1:15. Literally like clockwork. 11, 11:30, 1:15, they're gone because they had to go do the afters on campus. And 1:30, a very well-known baseball player, big homie, Ryan Howard, walks in by himself. And him and I sat there, and we drank Grey Goose.
Damn.
That's how long, because I haven't drank vodka probably in 10 years, 12 years.
But it was hot back then. Grey Goose
Grey Goose was
drink
hot.
of choice
Yeah.
back
First
then.
bottle I ever bought.
Real?
First bottle ever popped.
Yep. So we had some Grey Goose, and I was telling him, like, I think I made a mistake. Like, shit ain't gonna work.
Right.
I don't know if he sprinkled some Phillies magic in that joint, but Saturday it was like it cracked, and we were rolling ever since, man. It was a lot of fun times in there, bro. Like,
How long was it? So, because for the people that don't know, recess closed its doors officially.
last day was January or New Year's Eve 2022, 2021.
Oh,
I
9
recall it.
2020. So it was a long
2022, yeah.
It was a long run.
Yeah, great run.
Crazy run.
It was a crazy run.
I had some great times in there, man.
Crazy run, man. I would travel and meet people in other cities, and they would say, oh, I fuck with Philly. And I'd be like, oh, yeah? What do you do when you go there? And I'd be like, oh, like, I go to a club there, this, that, and the other, but it's this place. It's like, it's weird, though. It's like in a parking garage, and I would just look at them like, oh, yeah? Tell me more. You're like, yeah, it's crazy, because I don't know how big it is, but, like, when you go in, it'd be cracking, and then you leave, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, it's 3:15, but okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so... But yeah,
So outside of Ryan Howard sprinkling what you call magic in that joint, like what did you guys do? I mean, there had to be something, some type of marketing, some type of word of mouth. I mean, outside of you guys, closing at 3:30? I think everybody else closed at 2.
Yeah.
What do you think it was for you guys to become what you guys came in the city?
I would say I would say 2 major things. One, we were at the bottom of the hill where it was like if you ever watched like a zombie apocalypse, how they're all going to one place. They were all coming to recess. Like it was pretty cool to see. People would get there at 1:30 and they'd be like, "Oh man, this joint dead. You told me it was gonna be popping," and we would all giggle and just be like, "Just wait, just wait." It's like a gremlin. You sprinkle the water and they just
start popping up.
popping everywhere.
2:30. You can start
2:15.
see it elevating.
It's crazy. And so we were in a position where all the bars would let out and you would just walk your ass right on down the street. And the other thing is, the biggest help was my guy Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle.
His Instagram was "That's Mr. Asshole to You," because Kyle and I had been in the trenches since we did Z-Bar together. And Kyle, I mean, he ran that door better than I could ever, and he made it exclusive. Like Kyle, and I never even had to take Kyle to New York and be like, because Bill will tell you, I study this business. Like I tell you, I don't just I study this business. I can rattle off all the top doormen in New York, all that shit. Never took Kyle to New York. Never took Kyle anywhere, but Kyle ran that door better than I did at Z-Bar, and he hates everybody.
He really does.
He hates tall, short, black, fat,
doesn't
white.
matter.
He hates everyone. He doesn't care. He has like 10 friends. Like he doesn't care. So, and that's how he treated it. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the biggest things. And dude, you would walk into recess, and shout out to like, again, Ryan Howard, my relationships I built with them, because I built a lot of relationship with the athletes from Z-Bar. And Karts, Karts is my man.
Yeah.
And then
You would go in there and like the Flyers they having a great time. You wouldn't even know the Flyers were in the table next to you, and they just having a great time. Carter, members of the Phillies, you wouldn't know. It was plenty of nights we went in there, and it would just be people in there from UPenn, like politicians, children.
Yeah.
That like the Secret
Presidents.
Service is outside.
Secret Service was outside.
And it's like, Ryan, who is in here tonight? One night it was the table up near the left, and you were just telling me like, yo, just make sure they good, cause like we came from somewhere.
Because remember, Bill worked.
I worked for recess.
He worked for recess.
So it was like, yo, just make sure they good. So I'm like, all right, cool. I had no idea who he was with. Turns out we with Magic Johnson's daughter.
Oh wow.
And like I'm talking to her. I'm like, oh, okay. Like it's just crazy. You just didn't know who you would be around. You know what I mean? In that area, in that club. And it was great times. Open at 3:30 every Saturday, Friday. It was a great place to end the night.
And the one thing we did was, and not to like knock how New York is, but they have to build the hype of their places.
Mm-hmm.
So if Drake goes to a club, Page Six knows the next day.
Right.
We never did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you never, like I could tell you some stories.
Except when y'all made the national news.
Well, that was the one time that shit went left, but whatever.
What story is this? If you don't mind me asking. I mean, this is what the podcast is for.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I would imagine that the
this is I'll lay it up for Ryan. This is when there was a disagreement in there between two people from the city, and I believe it was LaShawn McCoy and a current. He's not a current anymore, but it was a police officer in the city, and they had a little misunderstanding. And it just ended up being on the news.
Is this something we can't talk about now? I mean, recess is.
Oh no, I mean it's listen, it was a situation. It was kind of funny because I never went away on the weekends. Right? I would always travel Sunday morning to Thursday. And this one time I actually flew out of town and Mark came with me. We both were
Both
gone.
of them gone.
Both
Both the owners out of town.
Both the owners out of town.
And you know who in charge?
What a quinkadink.
Kenny.
Kenny was in charge.
Kenny's in charge. Kenny's in charge.
First time Kenny left home alone.
LSG. Kenny
He's
probably was
left.
in there with an LSG hat on, a cardigan, and they're just smiling and loving life. And
Left Kenny home by himself one time.
one
dog.
time,
That's all it
and
takes.
it was like, you know how it's like when you tell a kid, don't bring your friends over, just be good. So I flew down to Miami, and I was in Live having a time. And it's funny because we actually, it was me, Mark, our good friend Antonio Presta, Ari Raptis. We in there having a ball, celebrating life, right? I just asked my soon-to-be father-in-law to marry my wife. So we in there having a ball. It's like 2:55, and Bill knows, I'm always checking what's going on. Or Kenny will probably
Watching the
tell you.
cameras,
I'm
all that.
annoying, right? I'm annoying.
He actually told us this story.
So I was like, what's going on? 2:55. Nah, we good, this, that, and the other. Everybody in here, I was like, all right, cool, great. 2:59, you shut down the bars yet? He like, no response. 3:01, yo, no response. Hey, Mark, text Kenny. No response. It's like 3:03, 3:04. I was like, hold on a second. I just knew something was off. So Kyle calls. Now, if you've been to Live before,
Yeah.
we are dance floor table, like 4 or 5 tables, and to get to the outside.
Oh yeah, you
is
got to
a
walk through
hike.
everybody.
I'm like, hello? Go outside. Hello? I look at Mark. I was like, I'll be right back. I haul ass up them steps, out the door, get my hand stamp. What's up? He's like, we got a problem. I was like, what's the problem? He said, we had a fight. And if you are in our industry, and normal people can't fight for 3 minutes. You can't. Like if the two of y'all
athletes.
squared off right now, y'all not athletes. Y'all can't fight for 3 minutes. It's not possible. Kyle, I said, how long was the fight? He said 3.5 minutes. I was like, somebody died. It's just died. What the fuck? So I said, who was it? And he said who it was. And I was like, is everything cool? Yeah, everything cool. Everything cool. Fast forward, Mark and I go out Sunday night, had a great time at 11. Super Bowl was that Sunday.
Yeah.
Monday morning, I'm asleep in my hotel room. My cell phone is dancing on the dresser. It's my mom. And I'm like,
Mama.
I was like, why is she calling? Hello? And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I was asleep. I got in at about 7:15. Like, what's up? She says, you might want to turn on the news.
That thing was cranking on the
And I
news.
tell you, man, every news outlet was trying to get to
that
me
joint was
through
on SportsCenter.
Facebook, LinkedIn. They called my dad. They were calling when they want to find you, they will, like, you think nobody has your phone number? It's probably even worse now. 'Cause that was in 2000. I don't even like.
I think that was right around the Graham time. Like people are still on Instagram because I remember you showing me the messages of people hitting you up, and I was like, damn, like everybody's trying to get a piece.
I'm seeing Connecticut number, which is probably ESPN. I'm assuming, like they were coming in hot. So yeah, That was one of the craziest times. But listen, it's all good. You know, we got through it. We weathered the storm. Everybody, I don't know how it all worked out for the guys involved, but it was great though. It was a great
So
time.
I got a question for you. So when did you feel like I made the right decision? Because I know at one point you sat down and you felt like, man, this might not be going my way. What was the time when you were like, damn, this was a good joint?
I think it was honestly my birthday party.
What year was this?
That was 2010.
So it took you about a year.
Yeah, no, it was, we opened up September 17, 2009. My birthday was in April of 2010.
Okay.
Couple months.
And I threw a crazy birthday party, and it was dope because I just sat back, and it was like, okay, we got something here, and it was just cool to see because it was scary, man. Like for the first, you know, I tell the story that Saturday was dope after Ryan sprinkled the magic, but it was still a little touch and go. You know, we didn't have the marketing aspect we have now. So I'm not saying it was word of mouth, but it was like Facebook. Right, and Facebook really wasn't cracking like that. I mean, people did it, but they didn't. But you know, you still had Z-Bar, which was the powerhouse. You know what I mean? And then I would say it took to my birthday because so many people came, and to look over to my left, I got Ryan Howard at my birthday. And remember, this is primetime. Phillies are hot. Katino Mobley's there. You know, a couple other athletes. You know, and it was just good to see that these guys came to the birthday, and it's not just because of the athlete aspect, but the party was that good, and then like we just threw a really good party, you know. And it's that's all it really took was for us to just really get people to enjoy it, and the music was always fire too.
Always.
Music was always fire. Like that's one of the things like people don't understand. We really focused on that was like the DJs had to be dope, and I couldn't have active every weekend, so we found a guy, DJ Nem. We actually found him in Mad River DJing on crates, DJing like actual milk crates and a wobbly table. Scooped him up. Montone was murdering public house. Yeah. Murdering public house. Murdering it. We brought Montone in, a couple other guys around the city, and it was just like it was just a fun time, and it really became like everybody's after hours cheers.
That's what it was. It was a cheers.
It was a cheers bar. Like everybody, you knew, is this like I used to hear people say, "Is this a recess night?" You know what I'm saying? And then you knew when you went out on maybe not Friday, but you knew when you went out Saturday it was about to be a recess. Your Sunday was. Excuse my language. Your Sunday was fucked.
Yeah,
because you was about to get after it in recess on Saturday night. So so I would say right around April, I knew like I had something. I mean, I didn't think we was gonna go 13 years. Right.
What was the height of that 13 years? What was the height? When was it like, damn, I really got the number one spot in the city?
I would say, and you were with me a lot with that when JoJo was running around. We were running around with JoJo. So
the process.
Yeah, I was
during the process.
I was involved with Noto. And Noto opened in 2017, so I would say 17.
Yeah, that was when because Joe wasn't playing a lot, so that's why he was coming in. And then Ben wasn't playing a lot, so he was coming in. And then you had like Meek coming in there because Meek was in the city. He was having legal issues. Like it was just.
Then you had Uzi.
Then you had Uzi that was coming in there.
Coming in hot, yeah.
I remember AI just hanging in that joint. I'm not even
AI was
on the team.
AI was in there. I personally shook his hand. I said, thank you for really inspiring my childhood.
Back in the day.
We did.
Yeah.
I shook his hand in recess. Harden, like that was the first time I met Harden. Harden's the only person I saw press Dorsey to
press the shit out of me, bro.
Only person. It was 3:15. He said, yo, I'll do whatever. I just need the music back on.
No, he didn't say. No.
Harden remember that. We can get into your relationship with Harden now. You think he'll remember that?
Yeah, he knows.
Do he know you the recess guy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll touch on that too.
Now he
Speaking of networking.
Hold up. He didn't believe me. I had to drop that Harden was coming that night. He did not believe me. I had to drop from somebody who said they were looking.
All right.
The whole team was looking.
All right.
And he was like, "Yeah, okay, all right." I said, "All right, mama. Okay, all right." I was like, "Just he wanted to."
And I'm a dummy because they all were at Harp and Crown with Kevin Hart. And I know Spank. Like I don't like we don't talk, but I know Spank, and I remember seeing Spank going into Harp and Crown, and that was the days when you saw all the black SUVs out front of Harp and Crown.
Woo.
You knew
it was a night.
You knew it was about. I was like, oh, it's about to be hot in here tonight. Like, get the staff ready. I want everybody back at a certain time. No drinking tonight. It's about to be on. I was like Dollar Bill pushing the button, under the table, and I was. I remember talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, they coming through." And I was like, "Bill, stop playing. They ain't coming here." I was like, "Yeah, I might see Meek in them, but they ain't coming." Like, And sure as shit, the beard walked in.
Walked right in there.
Ah, shit.
Said, nah, y'all got to keep this playing.
So I'm trying to keep this thing in chronological order, but I can't wait to hear your more recent stories about the beard and how he's helped the Winston.
Yeah. I mean, we could it was sad to see Recess go. But it was at a point where like we had to make a decision where we kind of, not to say we grew up, but it was losing its luster. And my thing was I wanted to, let's shut the doors on top. Like Studio 54, like most people don't even realize that the first run of Studio 54 was only like a year and a half, almost 2 years. Like, and they shut their doors because of the owners.
Some tax shit.
The owners got some other shit, but like it went out on top for a little bit, and then when it came back, it just never had what it had. Them first 2 years was crazy. So, for me, it was like, all right, let's shut it down, and let's try something else. Like, let's get into the sports bar game.
And the last thing, I just want to say before you get into that. Last weekend, y'all called it the Last Dance.
Last Dance,
similar to
the marketing was amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
the marketing was amazing.
You couldn't beat it. To watch that run though, I mean,
the marketing was amazing.
Yeah, the Last Dance. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
it's about to go down in this thing. They about to close the curtain.
Listen, I always say like you would be surprised. I could run a list of the amount of people that have been in there, but I always tell this story. One of my favorite. I didn't talk to him, but one of my favorite people to see in Recess was Anthony Weiner.
Who the hell is that?
Was he a senator?
Senator. He had a huge scandal.
Huge scandal. And he's in the middle of the scandal, right? In the middle of scandal. And I come in, I used to always get there at like 2:15. Or not always, but I came in that night at 2:15. And Kyle's amazing at knowing people's faces. Kyle's like, you'll never guess who's in there. I was like, who? He's like, Anthony Weiner. I was like, who the fuck is that? He's like, the senator right now in the scandal in New York. I'm like, no way. Why would he be here? He's like, table 3. I'm like, okay.
Table 3. Gave me his address.
I go down the steps, and there is good old Senator Anthony Weiner.
I got to look him up.
And I was like,
dude, you might like this guy.
He had bottles at his table. And I was like, God, it's not him. So I went to the back, and I told Kenny to pull the pay, who was paying for it. The chicks at the table was paying for the bar, and I was like, "That's him. That's him. That's him.
That's gotta lay low."
Yeah, you gotta lay low. And then the other one was the Lenny S party.
Ooh, forgot about the
Made in America.
I'm not gonna lie, that might have been one of my favorite nights.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
That late.
That was top 10 nights.
That was like a Thursday. That was right when everybody came.
Friday.
Yeah,
it was a Friday. Yep.
That was a good.
I got there late. I was salty about that.
That was a good joint.
Hey,
I blame my friends.
He was like, hey, not him, but his man Dell. Yeah, we just want to hold recess for ASAP Ferg. We're gonna do a little party, 75 people. I was like, man, y'all go ahead. Y'all can have a spot. We'll see y'all later. You know what I mean? People don't come in till later. I'm at home. I didn't even go.
I think I texted you.
That might be why I thought I had to go.
I didn't go. And I was home getting dressed, being lazy, being late. And I got in my car, and I was coming across the Ben Franklin. Active, my cousin, was out of town. He calls, and I'm like, man, I'll call him back. 6 minutes later, Nikki Moore from Barstool, shout out to Nikki Moore, manager of Barstool, he calls. And then my wife calls. And I'm like, what the fuck is... And I'm saw between the front of the bridge in Jersey to the bottom of the bridge in Philly. I make the turn. I call her, and she's like, you might want to turn on Instagram Live. I go to my Instagram. I click Lenny S. He like, where we at? Where we at? We at recess, everybody. Everybody come. I was like...
Hopping in there.
Bro, I pulled up. Kyle just shaking his head as I pulled up. He said, you really did this to me? And it's kind of how Tiff does when she looks at me now in this place.
Yeah, look at that.
It's like, you really did this? And I was like, I didn't have nothing to fucking do with it. I go, and, Tremaine, I'll never forget. I opened this door. It was probably 400 people in recess. One bartender.
Understand.
Chubbs. One bartender, Chubbs.
Everything was free. Well, not free, but it was open bar and everything, right?
Yeah, I don't need. I had
earlier.
It was cases of Lobo in there. I was like, they brought their own shit.
It was earlier. It was some type of activation like that. But then later, I think there was another party going on too, and people were coming in town. So like, people want to ask Lenny, of course, like, yo, where you at? What's going on? And he just said, pull up.
He was
so
on
literally
Instagram
the whole
Live.
lineup was in there. The whole Made in America lineup was in.
God, I said this shit crazy.
Good times.
That was a good time, man. That was definitely a highlight of one of the.
Yeah, and then fast forward to the Winston. It's been a great project. Again, we opened up January 2022, January 13th. We opened up on a Thursday. That Sunday, I was all excited. Eagles were in the playoffs. Tampa Bay. Tom Brady versus Eagles. Smoked us about a second quarter. I sat in that DJ booth, damn near cried, and said, this is the worst business decision. Once again, I was like, here we go again.
It's tough. That
It was tough, but 2 years later, we're still here. So it's been pretty fun.
Before you got the Winston rolling though, like, so I'm always curious, and I've never asked you this. We talk all the time. So you at the Winston, of course you're closing it. You want to go out on top because you're growing up. You want to try something new. But what's the decision making? Like, what's like the opportunity that says, okay, we're really going to pivot and do this? Was it the real estate aspect because you saw a building and you saw opportunity, or was it like in your mind when you're like, I just want to do it, I'm gonna go find it? Mm-hmm. Like, what made you actually like step out? Because again, you were cool over that recess. It might not have been what it used to be, but end of the day, you was cool.
Well, at the time, we actually took the space next door, which will be Mr. Ivy in the next 60 days or so. We were looking at these spaces to do kind of what we're doing right now, like make it a complex, right? I had always loved this area because it's in the middle of nowhere, right? You can party. And coming up, like partying myself, this location was the shit. Like McFadden's and Johnny Utah's, Tiki Bob's, whatever it was like, you could catch this on a Wednesday night and it was cracking, right? And it was, granted, it was 50 million school buses being dropped off, Villanova, LaSalle, schools being just dumped here, craziness, but it was always busy. And I said to myself, coming off of, the hype of Noto, because I was with Noto Project from literally, I met James, the owner, the minute he touched down in Philly to find the space. I also met, we built Noto, so the hype from that. And I said, if we could take all of that and do something in this area, this would be amazing because there's nobody around us. Right. So the goal was supposed to do Mr. Ivy first, and then the Winston, and basically they would just feed each other. Yeah. So we looked at the spaces, we liked them, and it was like, we went ahead and locked them up on leases, and then this little thing called COVID happened. Paused everything. So,
super pause.
But it was awesome though. It got some time to sit down, regroup. And that's what it was. During COVID, I am a father of triplets. Yes. Shout out to the D3.
D3.
So I
Miss Florabella.
And Miss Florabella, the boss. I figured like we grew up, man. It was like I didn't want the late night, like, during COVID, my bags under my eyes cleared up a little bit, lost a little weight, you know what I'm saying? I was getting a little healthier. And I was like, maybe this after hours shit ain't really the thing no more. You know what I mean? Maybe people will change and people aren't really going out late like that no more. So maybe I should pivot and really focus on the sports bar aspect and the concept that we're doing for Mr. Ivy. And then we threw a couple illegal COVID parties. And I think
everybody did.
I was like, maybe we should hold on to this for a little bit. And it's just when we came back, recess wasn't the same. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, it's time. Let's clip it. That's
when you knew.
Yeah, let's know. And then to what you want to jump into, I actually credit the beard for bringing recess back, or the theory of getting back into after hours.
Yeah, I think he had a little. I think he had a little 100%. Tap into it. I think he had a little play in that.
100%.
Because I feel like coming off COVID, people were. It's like almost like daylight savings time, right? Like coming off COVID, people were so used to getting in their body clock and not being out until 4 a.m. and like going to sleep early. But when I'm not gonna lie, man, when he came to the city and he had certain parties and everything, it definitely brought a different like feel to nightlife. Mm-hmm. And even in here, coming in here after that, he definitely had a little effect. And
it was interesting because shout out to you.
I was waiting for it.
Shout out to you because you were a huge connect in it.
I was waiting on it. I threw myself a lob. That was off the backboard.
Yeah, that was the Joel joint where he sidestepped, threw it off himself and dunked it. Oh, shout out to Maino for that because he kept saying, I'm gonna put it together. Yeah. And I'll never forget, I think it was you that called.
I called you. Liquor game.
No. So my man, somebody called me and asked me to film a video of the back room. I was like, me being Dorsey, I was like, I ain't doing it.
You did.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not doing it. Yeah. I was like, he wouldn't come here. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So I did it. Me and Bill did it.
Yeah, we can.
I ain't doing it.
But before we get into that, so you had the Winston, right? Mm-hmm. It was a straight restaurant.
Sports bar.
Yep. Sorry. So sports bar. That was the original
concept. Yeah.
The original concept. Yep. Upscale sports bar. Mm-hmm. You come here, you watch the game, get bottle service. I'm looking at about 12 TVs just from
a lot
from where we're sitting. But you had this private room, right?
Yep.
Because what was the original vision for the private room?
Private room was just an additional room that we had fitted out because it was like overflow, right? This gets pretty packed. Phillies happen, and I always envisioned that room to just be like the private room with a slide door. It was interesting because, it happened so fast because I didn't know the Phillies were that. I mean, I hate to admit this. I own a sports bar, wasn't paying attention. The Phillies were so they got hot. So we were like, shit, we got to build out this room quickly.
Quickly, yep.
Built it out, and it was really for the Phillies in the beginning. And then he got traded here, the Beard, and we would throw like, a couple of 40th birthday parties, simple shit like that. Mm-hmm. And you guys wanted me to film a video, and you kept saying like, yo, they're looking for somewhere to go. And it was cool because I felt as though I lost that touch. You know what I mean? Like, we were known at Recess for like celebrities, athletes, entertainers. We were the place. And like you know that you were those guys when every weekend someone of high notoriety was coming in your building. Right. And when that doesn't happen anymore, you feel like you lost a little bit, right? So when he got to the city, and again, shout out to you for making that connect. I'll never forget, you were like, yo, this is the weekend. Like, they town. And I was like, are you sure? I ain't believing for shit. I was like, Maino, like, are you sure? No, I'm telling you, I think this is it. Be ready. And I hit my man Reggie Berry, who is Austin Reeves' manager. And shout out to Reg and Jack. They used to hold it down heavily in the city. And I hit Reg, and I'm like, yo, man, you know where they going after the game? And he was like, man, they going back to the hotel. I'm like, rumor has it, because I didn't believe you. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I feel you.
I didn't believe shit. I was like, there's no way they're coming here.
No, I feel
so I had to do my own recognizance work. I was like, let me find out. So I was like, are they coming? And he was like, no, they're staying in a hotel. I was like, all right, never mind.
This is before you knew James's personnel.
Yes, and you knew him.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Shout out to Tremaine Johnson, your older brother. Yeah. Which is crazy. I got the same name.
Right.
Same name. Yeah,
I'll tell that story in a second. But
yeah, so he tells me, no, they're not coming, whatever. And I think you called me, and you was like, yo, it's on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Reg texts, I'm not lying, it was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sixers lost, or Sixers won with like a minute or like 40 seconds left, right? Something crazy.
Yeah, it was a good game.
So he hit me like, yo, it's on. And then Reg, 10 minutes later, bro, he talked, bro, we coming through.
Yeah.
Where you're sitting, it was Austin Reeves, Reg, myself, and I don't think anybody, it was just the three of us, and he ordered some food to eat, and bro, it was like the doors just open. It was Pat Bev might have been the funniest person. And shout out to Pat Bev. I'm sorry that man got traded. I loved him in
This
Philly.
is before he was on the Sixers.
Oh, was?
Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
He was
He was
on
on the Lakers, yeah.
He was on Lakers,
Yeah, shout out to him still.
Laker team.
I hear this door just fly open. He come in like angry. I'm like, what is wrong with him?
It's like, what?
Yeah, that's how he walk. And Reeves says something to him. He says, what's up? He go back. Side door flies open. Here come Brody. Russell Westbrook with whoever he was with. He goes, and I was like, okay.
Taylor Rooks.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Taylor Brooks was in it. I wasn't here that weekend. I missed that weekend.
I said, get everybody out of the building.
Yeah.
And there was a couple fellas at the bar that were like,
What the hell's going on here now?
what's going on? And I'm like, I think Tiff was, I don't know if it was Tiff or Amir.
Tiff was here, but Tiff was here, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know who the manager was. I think it was Tiff. Yeah,
I think it was Tiff. Jess might have been here.
Yeah, so I was like,
Shout out to Jess.
Shut it down.
pay everybody's tab, get them out.
Yeah.
Comp them, get them out. They got to go. And bro, we shut it down that night. And
That was a good night. I heard about
so
that.
I remember the Beard walked in, and I was like, oh, okay.
So the thing about Harden, I guess like at this point in his career, like his reputation precedes him, right? I think I'm saying that correctly. So he's known for being a partier. He's known for the vibes, we'll call it. You know what I'm saying? Setting it up, curating it, making sure everything's good. Right. So one of my favorite stories about the Winston so far is, again, we kind of kick this off talking about relationships and talking to people, not minding your business is pretty much what I do for a living. Damn near an investigator. But anyway, one of my favorite stories, I pulled up to the Sixers game, right? You know your boy, I come in like I'm a player.
Definitely.
So
Literally does. Literally.
Well, right into the player.
So I come, we'll call it the family entrance, to try to be humble. So I come to the family entrance, I get my tickets.
They might end that shit after this podcast.
FX. Who the hell is this?
Oh, so now we know who he is.
No, listen, totally legit. I pull up, I ask for my tickets and my badge. You know what I mean? Now, the problem is, they gave me Tremaine Johnson's. No, I'm sorry. Mine wasn't there. She's like, Tremaine, she know me by face and she know my name. She's like, it's not here. I'm like, what do you mean it's not here? So I just gave it to you. Black braids. I'm like,
Right.
She's like, I don't know. She checked my list, gave me different badge, different tickets. I'm like, cool. She gave me some courtside joints. So long story short, I ain't gonna bore y'all. Harden's right-hand man name is Tremaine Johnson.
Right.
You feel me? So he I don't really wear my name tag, but he had his on. I'm like, yo, I think I got your tickets. Real cool dude. So he normally sits courtside. James has this guy set up. He was like, well, he was in the back in the lounge because he's like, yeah, for some reason they got me sitting in row 14. I said, yeah.
Somebody was getting fired after that game.
I said, yo, I think they gave me your tickets and you got mine.
That's hilarious.
And that's how we chopped it up, and that's how we started the relationship. Now, again, I'm giving out life tips tonight. From minute one, I'm like, yo, let's hang out. Come to the Winston. But once you see somebody 4 or 5 games in, you develop a relationship. Right. We eating, we drinking, we chopping up what you do, what I do. You know what I mean? Then once the trust is built, I'm like, yo, I know y'all run around the city. You like to have a good time. Y'all should check out my man's spot. You feel me? That's when I asked for the video. You didn't want to send me the video. Took it into my own hands. Because again, I benefit from all this too. Right. I didn't really interrupt you with the recess and all that, but I benefit from all this as well. It's not like I'm out here just doing God's work.
No.
You know what I mean?
For the people, the people need to appreciate you, man. Like people, when you see him in the street, shake his hand.
Option one is always gonna be Tremaine. Now and again, if I can benefit everybody else while we're at it, but no, all in good fun. But again, me and Bill go back there. It's basically a demo video. I send it to everybody, even regular people who wants to have a birthday party or do whatever. But I showed Tremaine, and Tremaine was like, "This is it." And then I'm selling it. I'm using the same lines you told me. Listen, private parking to the back. You can come in, come out, sliding door, never know you're there. I'm giving them the whole joint. Right. So again, building that relationship, having that conversation. He's like, yo, what's the spot called? Where is that? That joint 7 minutes away. It might be closer to 11. Right. 7 minutes away. Right. So that's pretty much how we built it up. And again, I don't know how much we can really talk about it. These are recent stories, but win, lose, or draw. After the game, we was in this thing.
It was a good time.
I don't know if you want to leave it there or you want to elaborate, but that's pretty much how it went.
I'll leave it at this. It was, in a lot of the athletes I've come across, I got to say James is probably the best from a personality standpoint and the way he treated my staff.
Oh, 100%.
Other guys I would say is Carts and those dudes. Yeah. They were great. They're like, they became family. Like Carts, you know, we our kids like know each other, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Harden would probably go down as like one of the best. Like took care of the staff, you know. That's good. Always was really, really polite, pleasant. Now sometimes, you know, when he didn't like the sandwich, it didn't have the cheese the right way, he'd let us know. Yeah. But you know, whatever. Right. But for the most part, you know, Christmas time, I mean,
he showed love.
Show love, man. Like he really, despite all the shit they say about him in the news and the media, solid dude, and all his homies are solid. Like that's the best. Like for me, that's the best part because it's like. I still have a relationship with Tremaine Johnson. Like I still talk to Maine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like and you know, a lot of guys that have passed through that aren't here no more. I don't, you know, not to say I try to look to be friends with them. Like I don't really care about them. It's cool that I'm cool. You know, I met good people outside of that.
Developed a relationship.
Yeah, we developed a relationship, you know, and listen, my wife will tell you, like, and I give her a lot of credit. That Saturday morning when I woke up, because it was a Friday night game, I was like, oh shit. I was walking around the house with a little bit of a swag, right? It felt good to have that.
That's what you do. That's your.
Yeah, and then we had a couple more, and you know there was one, and I'll leave it right here. When I watch a certain rapper walk through my door and walk behind my bar and start bartending, I was like, oh, this shit, this is not a fucking
another level. We hit
another level, and
who's the rapper? I'm just on my job. You can say no comment.
Lil Baby was here.
I ain't gonna lie, that was wild. Harden wasn't even here yet.
Right.
He was in this joint.
The best part, Lil Baby walks up to the bar. How tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah.
Bill, I watched it all happen. Bill didn't see him come in.
I didn't see this nigga for nothing.
Bill didn't see him come in, and Bill Griggs has a reaction. It's the way he says, "Oh shit!" Like you know he's really reacting. Yeah. And I'm sitting up on the booth and I'm watching the whole thing. Lil Baby walks. He's talking to these ladies, and then he tells them, "I'm gonna go get a drink. Y'all want a drink?" So he taps Bill on the shoulder like, "Excuse me." He slides in, and all you just see Bill look down like, "Oh shit!"
I was like,
and he looked up at Bill like, "What's up?"
It was like he just wanted a spot at the bar. He just wanted a spot. Hey, it's cool. I can slide in. I was like, "Oh, what's up?" Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, he shocked the shit out.
Cool nigga though.
Cool though.
Yeah, he's great, man.
Round everybody. You know, that's one thing.
No security, nothing crazy. Just.
But I think that's a testament to you too, and like your establishments too. It's like you have a place where these people can feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. So many times, like in certain cities, whether it's not New York or LA, where like celebrities and athletes are always around and people are like used to seeing them, it might cause a scene. Like people might be trying to take pictures of them. They might. So you
feel comfortable, yeah.
Right. So you like in all the spot, whether it's recess, whether it's dayload, whether it's like the Winston or soon to be Mr. Ivy, the it's curated right where they can feel comfortable and they can enjoy themselves, and Lil Baby can just walk around, you know what I mean, amongst other people and just be at the bar. It's not like he's at a section. He was at the bar.
Literally at the bar.
That's the vibe.
Literally at the bar. Like, and that's what we prided ourselves on, you know. And that's one of my things I try to work on. Like I said earlier, was we don't focus on putting their business out there so they come, you know, and they have a good time. And my security has always been great to where we make sure that they're comfortable. We make sure people aren't on. Now it's harder now with keeping people off the phones because sometimes you might have male or female, you know, doing the whole dancing and the thing, and they're probably recording the rest of the room, although they're acting like that. And we, you know, you try to be nice, not to like snatch the phone or, yo, you got to erase that. But it's, you know, we want to curate because they don't have a place to go where nobody, you know, will not put down the phone, you know. And it's funny because now what's happening, a lot of these guys are doing shit at their house when really they shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got a bunch of strangers in your crib, or they know where the real house is, or the whatever.
I sign NDAs now.
Yeah, now you got to sign NDAs, but it's like, yo, come back to the bar. Nobody knows y'all here. Right. We might be in this joint on a Monday, a Sunday, a Tuesday, you know, middle of the day on a Thursday. But it's the fact that I don't need, like, I've always said I don't need to push out them having fun to the world to make my place better. Right. If I got to do that, I shouldn't be doing this.
No, that's real, and that's one thing about the again the vibes hardened with curate again bringing us on hookah guys.
Yeah,
shout out to hookah man. Shout out to hookah man.
He would walk through the door with a briefcase, and we wouldn't even know we was having a party. Yeah. And Tiff would look at me and go, "Ryan," I'm like, somebody was supposed to call you.
This is the hookah.
Yeah. So as soon as we see the hookah man, we knew it was about to be a night. So yeah.
So let's talk about before we put a bow on this thing. Let's talk about Mr. Ivy and what we got coming.
Yeah, man, exciting project. It's like the brainchild of Ryan Dorsey. I've been working on it for a couple of years now. You know, we started the project 2019, literally started construction on March 6th of 2020, sorry. March 6th, 2020, told us shut down for 2 weeks. We'll be right back at it. 2 years later, 3 years later, finally put, you know, a nail in the wall. It's an exciting project, man. It's nightlife has changed drastically, right? The days of a DJ, lights, music, and bottle service, it's not it anymore. Like, it's not it. Like, it's cool to see, like, people are actually dancing again, right? Like, people are actually partying again. There was actually a party here the other night. Shout out to Tara Wack. Go get her new album. Yes. My man Fresco Mills, I mean, looking at the footage, unfortunately, I wasn't here. I was home. I'm too old for this shit.
The wig party.
Fresco had this thing rolling, dancing. He popped locking. Everybody was having a good time, and it was cool to see because people were dancing and having fun. And I actually didn't see not one bottle go out, you know, and that's the way nightlife is going. So nightlife is going back to a party, or we got to give you an experience. You know, you gotta give me, you know, a contortionist or something flying through the ceiling. And it's crazy. And Bill, you can attest to this. We were doing this, and I say we because you were helping me throw these brunch parties. We were doing this back in 2015, 16 at a restaurant called Maison. You know,
her breed.
And that's the thing, man. We pride ourselves, and I say we because Bill's a part of. I don't do a business, and Bill knows this.
Silent
Bill
part.
was really a consultant.
Listen, I don't do a business. Bill is one of the last people because he will tell me you're out of your fucking mind, or this is the dumbest shit you ever said, or you need to do that. You know, and I think I run pretty much everything through Bill. So this concept, I took Bill to New York several times with me. We went to the spot called The Box. And I remember the first time I took Bill kind of looked at me like, what the fuck is this?
Some wild things going on.
Just wait a minute. Just trust me. Just listen. Just see it.
First of all, the name is already wild, but okay.
And by the end of it, Bill was at the bar dancing.
I was.
I'm talking the house music. And he was in there two-stepping, and I was like, you get it. And he was like, yo, I get it. Philly will love this. Yeah. We got to bring down the show a little bit because the show is wild. Show is wild.
I'm not going to describe
and it's even
what
vulgar
I saw
now.
on stage, but
show's crazy. We can't do that in Philly. I get shut down.
Very vulgar.
Well, yeah, I saw the promo you put out with the girls with the fire on fire and all that.
Yeah.
So I kind of see where we're going with this thing.
Yeah, right. So it's nightlife meets entertainment. If you've been to 11, we won't be on that grandiose scale with the strippers and things of the sort, but we will give you the entertainment in the middle of the room like 11 does prior to an artist going on, or just in the middle of the night while the club's going on. And just bringing back the fun, man. Like, you know, it's I just want to curate something where we're having fun again. Like, you know, that Studio 54 where everybody's dancing and I hate the word, but everybody's just vibing out. And also with the music, right? So that's one of the things I think I can hang my hat on is that I've always been on the forefront of the best music in the city. I will say generally in my places we have the best DJs. And
Shout out to AMH.
AMH is killing it right now, and Montone shut it down the other night. And if you get Young Smooth going with a couple smooth teas, even he liked to tear it down. Shout out to all the ladies in the basement of the Ruby.
Right.
You know, like
Who was down there? Was that last Friday? That lady down there.
I had somebody from New York last Friday. Right?
No, that was
I thought it was a lady. It looked like 923 down that thing.
Nash.
Nash.
It's Nash.
Nash. Yeah,
Bodied it.
Yeah, she's
Bodied
got
it.
a couple of parties that she.
Yeah, Nash bodied it. Sibby Liv kills it. DJ Olay is fire.
Yeah.
Shout out to the guys from, I think it's the party's called Soul Summer. They killed it the other week. So like we're trying to bring back the party life, man. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's also cool. Shout out to the new guys of the city. Dior, Vic B.
Dior, hell yeah.
6'8", they're not the new young guys, but they're still turning it up.
Still,
with you, me, and R&B.
Facts. Facts.
So it's exciting. Like I think the city is going in a good direction from a nightlife perspective, and I'm excited that Ivy is finally here, and I think the city is gonna like it. That's really it.
I saw it over there. I peek in there every once in a while just to see what's going on. I saw what it looks like. Saw the framework.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely coming along. We already did a walkthrough on the tech side. I kind of skipped a step. What's the current state?
I was going to ask this.
Of the Winston right now.
Oh, I was going to say Philly nightlife, but I like.
Well, the Winston right now, and as far as you mentioned the Ruby room, we have the Emerald room. When we talked about that private room, and you had to pivot pretty much from the original concept. So let's kind of talk about the state of the Winston right now, and then we can get into the state of the city.
Yeah, the Winston right now is Winston Private Social Club. We are allowed to stay open until 3:30. Catering license is involved as well, so we can serve food. We did pride ourselves on a pretty good menu. We had some great wings. We have great wings. Our brunch is really good. So we do, and the room we're sitting in right now is the Winston. So if you book a party, you're in the Winston, which is the room we're in right now. Saturday and Sunday we do brunch. Friday nights you can come in up till 3:30. You'll go in the Emerald room or the Ruby room. Emerald room is more of your open format, I would say hip hop. Then the Ruby is more of your house, Afro beats, tech house. That's where it's a little more eclectic music, which is starting to be my favorite because the party down there is just
keeps the energy high.
The energy is just crazy down there. And one person we didn't mention, or a couple people we didn't mention, who helped really establish that back room. I got to give them their credit, was Josh Lang and Silo at BWC.
Oh my God.
They actually are the ones. Let me take it back. They are actually the ones who introduced that room.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it was funny because in the beginning when I first met them, shout out to young Calvin Caton. We had a lot of shout outs in this. We gotta watch that. We gotta have like a shout out.
I mean,
should have a moment where you shout everybody out.
But that's good though. I feel like people don't get their just due. Yeah.
Calvin Caton of Dresden, he had met them and he was like, I got these guys you got to meet. And I had been watching Silo since he was at Silk City. I think Bill, we used to go there on Thursday nights.
So Silo TOBH party. He was the first DJ at the TOBH photo party.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So they came in, and I remember walking Josh and Silo into this room. And I was like, so guys, I'm all happy and shit. I'm like, nah, these are BWC guys. This is pretty cool. Josh Lang looked at me and was like, nah. I was like, this fucking guy. I was like, all right, bro. Slid the door open, and I just watched his face. He was like, you got lights. You know me. I don't do well when people are like, I got to tap dance and show shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, what color you want them? He was like, red. All right. So I turned him on red, and I'll never forget. He sat back, and he did this, and I was like, I got him. Mm-hmm. And they were like, all right, it works. These dudes threw a party for that ass.
Banger, yeah.
This shit.
Banger in here.
What about the water?
Winston on the Water. That's like a recess place to me, man. One of the greatest kept secrets. Like, it was a shuttered bar that nobody wanted, and it sat behind Dave & Buster's, and I literally put that deal together in 10 days.
Well, I tell you, this man called me. I didn't know what he had going on. He wouldn't even give me the address.
Wouldn't tell anybody.
He made an order and was like, listen.
Can't tell you. I wouldn't tell anybody.
What's the name? What's the address?
I didn't run that by you, I don't think.
Nah,
You probably had
Did
time.
You told me a long time ago. So, like, you told me that property was available a long time ago. It was around the pandemic. And we talked about it, but then I forgot about it. You revisited it, and we went over there before anything was, like, I'm talking about spider webs. It was like...
When I went to go see it with...
Weeds in the cracks and all that.
It's
No, there was a guy sleeping. Bro. And I walked in, and I was like, I'll take it.
I ain't gonna lie.
Literally, I'll take it.
I was like, I don't know about this one. I ain't know about this one. But... Yeah, I mean, I think that's a testament to how you have the vision for things too.
Yeah,
It's like how you go, like, what is that? What do you see in a place? Because I'll tell you right now, I didn't see it.
You can't teach vision.
Yeah, like that's
No,
what they
you
say.
didn't see it?
I didn't see it. I understood it, but I didn't see it because it was just like, no. For people that don't know, the Winston on the Water is behind Dave and Buster's, so it's a pier on the back of Dave and Buster's that jetties out into the Delaware River.
Like you're on the river.
You're literally on the river.
Winston on the Water.
And I saw it's beautiful back there. Don't get me wrong. That's what I saw. The state of how it was, because who knows, since it was been over, I was like, there's no way it's going to work. Literally went back 2 days later, it was murals in there, and it was spotless. I was like, okay, all right, well, he must see it.
Yeah, it was crazy because my problem is a gift and a curse. When I get fascinated with something or fixated with something,
Lock it in.
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in. Like it's and I do this thing. It's kind of weird, but like recess, I literally called TJ and I said, "Hey, I need the keys." It was one night I was like, "I need to go in," and I just went and sat in the middle of the room.
I feel the space.
And I was like, DJ booth is going up top there. And everybody was like, what? And I was like, watch, I got it. So you going to put all the DJ, fuck them, they got to climb upstairs. That ain't my problem.
That was the best part.
I was like, I'm not DJ. What do I care for? I'm not climbing up there.
But that climb up, that was the best part. That was
Plus.
the best part. It was the best because I had access, so I could go up there and be away from everybody.
Behind the bar.
Yep.
All right. So when I ran Z-Bar, I watched a girl reach over the DJ booth and grab the turntable. And Lee Jones.
You said that would never happen to me.
Yeah, I was like, I can't have that happen. I watched Lee Jones grab this girl's hand and go, security to the DJ booth. And that always stuck with me that I need to keep, as you can see, the DJ booth is elevated. Right. Mm-hmm. Any place I do, the DJ booth is elevated. I never want that to happen. Same thing with Mr. Ivy. And, I've been here several times. Sat in the space, understood it, drew it out. And then when I went to Winston on the Water, aside from the dude sleeping, literally sleeping, I was like, can y'all get him out? And then I want to come back and understand it and feel it.
Bob it, yeah.
Yeah, and I came back and I was like, dude, this view, this is the other side of the building. Like,
Ben Franklin Bridge.
like this is my backdrop. All we got to do is make all this shit pretty, and we'll figure it out. And I worked with a young designer, Carly Fajardo of Block 52 Design. I always mess up the name of her company, but it's Block 52 Design because she is a huge Eagles fan. She's great, man. We work very well together. She understands the vision. When I say I want to see this, I want to see that, she'll burn down the budget. But she's really good at bringing what I envision to life. We work very well together. So
When is that open? Because it's not open all year.
what's that?
Winston on the Water.
Looking to open probably Cinco de Mayo if Mother Nature is friendly.
So what's it? Is May to
Yeah,
September?
May to September. Dude, it gets because you're literally on the water. Like Morgan's Pier is probably about 100 yards inland. I guess inland. Right?
Yeah.
Right way to say it. 100 yards on the street, so you can be in Morgan's and it'd be 72 degrees. You in Winston on the Water, no sun. It's 65 degrees, 60 degrees. It's windy out there.
No, that's right.
So we gotta shut it down early. But I think we finally got it right, and we're curating some really cool things. Val, who was one of the booking agents booking events coordinator for Terra, which was a cool place that was around for a little bit.
Right.
She now works with us, and she is really, really good at booking, events and booking DJs. Shout out to my man Ben Arsenal, who throws some sick events in the city.
Sick parties. See, man, the party, I was going to ask you to stay the nightlife in Philadelphia, but I really feel like we're hitting a place, and me and you talk about this a lot, like how the city's changing. We touch on it sometimes, like how the city is changing from when we first started, moved here. I mean, since you're a business there, you lived here your whole life, but what we've seen the city evolve to, and like, where do you think the city, as far as your consumer, is going and what they really want and what they want in like places?
I think they the large scale places are getting a little tough, in my opinion. The venues that are 10,000 square feet are a little bit bigger, are a little tougher. I think people want to be together in a tight room, partying close together so you can feel the energy. Curated things, right? So like Ben's Departed is one of the dopest parties here in the city, and I think it's amazing. And then you got BWC, what they're doing with their their events during the summer, which they lit Cherry Street Pier on fire.
That was one of the best parties I've been to in years in the city.
They lit Cherry Street Pier on fire.
Amazing.
You felt like you were in Brooklyn. It was, or you didn't feel like you were in Philadelphia. It was amazing. Yeah, the fire. It was like the perfect backdrop. The fireworks and all that shit. It was great. But I think
and then the pier. I gotta say this because the pier hated on him, and I
Hate it.
I feel like that's what the city also like. That's that next transition is some people in the city don't realize what needs to be done or like the fun that you can have or like to see that like to say for you to say it looked like Brooklyn. That's a big thing to happen in the city that it looks like that, and they kind of didn't show them guys the proper respect. So I don't know how that gets changed in the city. I'm not really in nightlife, even though people do think I am. But like, I think the city's definitely got to do a better job of being embracing these people, and because they're making the city better. People like you, people like Josh, Silo, AMH, who do you, me and RB, all these people that curate things. I feel like the city has to do a better job of being welcoming to them.
Yeah, and I think the events that are being thrown right now are pretty dope, man. Like even Calvin with Dresden. Yeah, I mean Calvin's throwing some dope events. And I think the city nightlife is getting better. Places like Vinyl have come along. Vinyl's pretty dope. Excited for Artem over at Midnight in the Wicked. It's been a project that's been a long time coming. Kudos to him for sticking with it and finally getting it done. Barstool's dope. I'm a little old for Barstool. I think they do a good job. Shout out to Nicky Moore for
Nick over there doing his thing.
Nick over there doing his thing, holding up the line, making people wait in line.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm too over Barstool. I go in there with my homie Lear and his wife when they come in the city. I can't be in there. Nah. I say what's up to Nick and everything. I can't be in there. It's just.
And it's like I'm loving the fact that the hotel bar is picking up in Philly. Right? Like the Ritz used to be our little clubhouse. And it's too many people now.
Now there's a lot of people go there.
Now there's a lot of people that go there.
Now Josh got a curation thing.
Yeah,
W.
Josh curated the W. The W's whamming on a Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
We even play Lock Bar.
Right.
We're finding new cool places to go. And
Barber.
Yeah, it's a cool. The city's I think it's nightlife is coming along because for a minute it was very questionable.
Yeah.
For a minute it was very questionable. Where I think After Hours was winning so heavily because nobody wanted to go out prior. They were coming out the crib at like 1 o'clock, 12:30, and they were just hitting the recess. Because that's where, if you look at where we were at the height, it was only a couple of years ago. Pandemic slowed that down, but you literally had people going out at 12:15, 12:30, and maybe that was because recess was where it was. And
I was people.
Yeah, it was. It was hot at the moment, but people were literally going out 12:30 and just going right to recess. But yeah, I think we're going in a good state. I think Fishtown is cracking. Even Manioc got a little.
For sure.
Manioc got a little buzz. James Morrissey's doing cool things up there. Active's doing a lot of activations during the week.
Yeah.
The day party is heavy in Philly right now.
Yeah.
I mean it's a lot of things going on, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the next couple of years.
All right. Well,
yeah, man.
I think we got all we need.
I think we got all. We touched on anything. Is your heart and how do you used to say? Is your heart and mind clear?
Is everybody's heart and mind's clear?
But, I just want to.
My glass is clear. I was waiting for somebody to pour another cocktail.
I didn't want to get up and disturb anything, but I appreciate you stepping on this podcast. Of course, asking me and Tremaine where we've been. We might be back, ladies and gentlemen. And,
this is a good joint. This is a good joint. Feel natural. Feel good. Again, we all rap and talk. We're actually really friends. I mean, I can't really speak for
100%.
other podcasts.
Talk to these guys almost every day.
Right.
Yeah, but again, I learned something. Again, like I said, we talk all the time. We chop it up all the time. But it's good to just get on here, get on the mic, chop it up. It is what it is, man.
Yeah. It's first of many, boys. First of many.
First of many.
All right.
Do I even want to tease what's coming up? I ain't going to tease what's coming up.
Enlighten me, because I don't know what the hell going on. I just showed up.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I ain't going to do it.
All right, we can leave where it's at.
We'll leave where it's at.
This ain't rocket science, people.